Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing. Hey, what's up? It's me, Elay, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. I'm doing a chicken wing it morning right now, where I just want to test out a few technological difficulties slash technological transitionings or technological metamorphosis. Okay, enough of the silly. Ping! I want to talk about Jamie. Bum, ba, ba, ba. What's up, Jamie Foxx? I don't know what's going on as time has gone by. There's been an abundance of different answers. You know, 1 minute he up, 1 minute he down, or 1 minute you up, 1 minute you're down. I hope that when you're back up, you stay up all the way up. Jeremy, all the way up. You know, I don't want anything bad to happen to people in general. But sometimes things do have to happen so people can learn a lesson. Saying that, while someone is going through a lesson, I hope they get whatever needs to be got so it won't ever happen again. And so the world can keep moving forward. And that's just for about everybody, myself included. I don't want to be going through a loop, doing the same thing over and over, especially if I don't want that particular loop to happen. If I'm going to be stuck in the loop, it's going to be a loop of happiness, you know, like Care Bear Land happiness, you know, like Smurf stuff, Smurf City, tra la 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 la, boom 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 boom, hey, party over chill, you know. I think half of the world is rooting for you, Jamie, and I say half of the world, and that's most of the world, because kind of realistically speaking, trying to keep this situation, although it's serious, I want to be not so heavy with the heartache about it. So back to half of the world, because, you know, a lot of people in this world, although it's big and technology is stretching everywhere, a lot of people still don't have TVs. Bum, bum, bum. So when I say half of the world, that's technically all of the world, and the people who are fortunate to have a TV, you know, holler if you hear me, you know, they're with you. Their prayers are with you. Because somewhere deep down in the jungle, there's some poor child who has not been blessed with the discovery of technology yet. The poor unfortunate soul in pain, in need. It's so terribly tragic to not have a TV. Look, I did an article about you, or should I say a video, where I read an article or two about you, and I stopped it on the good note. When your daughter, bless her heart, she just left it on the good note, saying that you were recovering and everything's doing just fine. ... Wanye. Getting along very well. Okay, so I wanted to leave it on a good note. A few days have gone by, and I just want to touch up on it a little bit. It's just really up or down. It's a lot of things going on, and once again, I'm freestyling this video. And what was coming to mind when I started thinking about, like, geez, I wonder how Jamie's doing. Let me hit that Google button. I didn't even press the Google button to like pop open the search menu. I just stopped right there. And it's like, that song popped up in my head. Like, oh, it's the Jamie Foxx show. Here I come once again. I'm just something with my friends. I'm like, yeah, we need that back. We need that. In heavy rotation, followed by clips of you dressed up like that lady at the dinner table. That's funny. Those are funny things that you brought to the entertainment / comedy world. Hang on. What is that? Okay, never mind. Yeah, so I just hope everything, works out. Nobody wants to lose you. Nobody likes to see anybody go, especially for his or her time. That's the thing. I hope that whatever happened, it's a lesson learned. I'm not saying you got what you deserved, but personally for me, my life's been filled with tragedy too. So I took it upon myself to find an answer for myself to justify why my life was a continuous SHIT show. And it was obviously something I wasn't learning. Yeah, that was true. And then after I fixed what I thought needed to be fixed, slowly but surely the same things started happening again. I don't know what I was doing at that point to make the cycle to continue. So I decided to be more optimistic, not force-mistic, like being fake, not faking it till you make it. I unfortunately learned that bad habit from church. There's levels to faking it till you make it. What the faking it till you make it that I learned in church was toxic. So being optimistic has the same theory. However, it's the way I do it also was not for soul. Some people are like, it sounds the same, so what are you trying to say? What I'm trying to say, if you let me say it, is, number one, pipe down. And number two, when I say optimistic, I mean like there's obviously I can't get my words out. Obviously something that I'm still missing. Or maybe there's something that I'm not missing. If I've done everything in my power to correct everything that I can within my own intellect, and me being humble to express my feelings towards people who care to help me get a perspective from, their lens. If I've done all that, perhaps maybe it's one of those times where I leave everything to the Lord. Okay, so I even left it all to the Lord. But beyond that, it's like, what do I do after I push it on to the Lord? I'm still existing in this time. I'm still existing in this realm of space called life here on earth. So now that I've done everything that I could mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, honestly, I can say, and giving it all to the Lord, what is there to do now but to go forward? So what's left that I can do to go forward? I can blink my eyes, check. That's something I can do. I can move my foot, check. That's something I can do. I can lift my leg, check. That's something I can do. I can move my foot forward, up. That's something I can do. So I focus my purpose on moving the things that are obvious. Not like R2D2, but like me too. Meaning focusing on me. Not in the vain type of way, but in the self-help kind of way. What do I really want in this moment? Here we go. Here's the fun exercise, everyone. Everyone listening. In the moment, in time, right now. Being totally honest with yourself. I mean honest with yourself, because sometimes you just can't write things down in the journal because some idiot may find it and exploit it. So within your mind right now, without any limitations, what would you be doing differently? That would make you personally happy. I.e., for example, Blue Moon ice cream on a cone, double scoop, waffle cone. Check, poof, is there. Live in that moment and enjoy it. Reading a new book, the latest book. fresh off the shelf, not used, not from the library, you know, a new skateboard, that swag t-shirt you want to spend over $126 for because you can. You know, fun things like that. I'm coming from a place of my perspective that is focusing on all the things that I want now that are positive and beneficial. Because the goal for me is to get out of a negative space in my life. And the negative space may not be completely bad. However, right now, the negative space that we're focusing on right now is the fact that we're stuck in a loop and we've decided to give it over to the Lord. The negative space is the okay, what now? Because you might not get any answers right away. It's like, okay, how do you let go and let God? Like Sister Entendre always say in the church, you gotta let go and let God. I'm like, okay, I let go 5 years ago, but for some reason, what's holding on in exchange to that is a void of emptiness and a big question mark over my shoulder. Like, what do I do now? Cue Rihanna. What? Dun, 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 now. Dun, dun, dun. Sound, 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 dun, 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 dun. What now? That's exactly how we be feeling. You know, what now? GD, what now? So in that what now situation, the new void in your life, it's not necessarily bad, but it can be if you don't find something to fill that. Blinking your eyes, clapping your hands, snapping your fingers, moving your wrist, ice cream cone, brand new books, skateboard, new t-shirt, walking through the mall when the mall was dope. You know? Things like that. So in general, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone who's listening, who's wondering, you know, what's going on with Jamie? What's going on with Jamie? I think he might be pulling through a hard spot right now, which is obvious. But it's more of a hard spot inwardly. So praying that that void that needs doctoring sparks a light to flood through the rest of him so he can get on up out the bed and move forward. Praying that his family continues to stay calm, centered, cool, and collected. In a way, not to appease the media. I know everybody wants their privacy. Everybody wants their privacy at some time. I mean, everybody do. I get it. You know, sometimes too much privacy, though, leaves everyone out of the loop to not really be able to target what is going on exactly. So, like my husband will always say, that leaves people room to speculate. And you kind of don't want that to happen either. Not too tough. And that's also another definition of the void, or letting that gray area get out of control. So coming on up out of the gray area is the next challenge. And I don't think they teach that anywhere. It's kind of like me. I'm kind of trudging through this racetrack in a new area in my life mentally, acknowledging that there is a higher power and that I do need help and I don't mind getting help. Knowing that all help isn't good help. You know, I'm saying all this stuff, and it's true. Now I'm in the gray area, and I choose not to stay neutral in that area for too long. I'm slowly going around that racetrack, finding inventive ways to make that moment not gray, but add color and spark and life and sunshine in it. I think that's the goal. So, Jamie, in the gray area, anybody who's not feeling well mentally, spiritually, or like any way that's not good, you know, it's kind of like the gray area. So your job as you loop through there is to magnetize yourself and be a searcher or a seeker of everything that's positive to add more color to that gray area to make it more colorful. And I think that's how you can get out the loop. So it's kind of like a revelation to myself I'm in a good spot. Another transition, that's all it is when you think about it. Now I have to magnetize myself in the way that I'll keep drawing more ways to see this section of my life, your life, everybody's life, to make it more colorful. The more color, the better. Not color like shades of gray, blacks and whites, but you know how when you do see something that's black and white and you slowly add more color, it turns blue, purple, red, yellow. You know, like that. So kind of like a bruise, unfortunately, if you've gotten a bruise from sports or bruise because you were in a bad relationship, that goes both ways, males or females, getting abusive relationships. So think of a bruise. It's dark and then it gets light. So what we're doing is reversing the bruise. So we want to go make that bruise in our life, that gray area, turn from dark to light. So we want to heal that gray area in the moment we are in by looking for things, searching for things within our power, within our minds, using our eyes to make it brighter by being optimistic. Let's say you're stuck in the chair all day. You really can't move anywhere. I'm kind of thinking of like my grandma when she was here. In my mind right now, I see her sitting in a chair by a window in the angle in a nursing home. The windows to her left, the weird gray shelled robin's nest egg blue to the right, and she's in the middle, chairs rocking at a diagonal. Don't know why she won't move the chair to the window. I'm going to assume that since I remembered that picture, that chair was just too heavy for her to move it. But what she saw from that angle was a door that was open wide, and then that by that door being open wide in the nursing home, it let in light which reflected off the floor to be yellow. And she got to see the nurses whizzing by. She got to see her people in her community going by. So from my perspective, facing her as facing her, seeing what was behind her, that's what I saw. Robin, eggs, nest, blue, wall to her right, and a window where I thought she should be looking out to her left. But from her perspective, behind me, she saw door was all wide open so she can go out that way, and she could go to the community hall. She could see her neighbors going by, the people she probably ate lunch with, the nurses going by. So it's a whole different view on how you look at it. So I can't get frustrated and move her out of the way and say, look out this dang window. Why are you looking that way? Because she may not want to. So we have to take the time, Grandma, and look at everybody's perspective from their perspective. Don't be so quick and hasty to move them because you think you know what's best for them, because it's obvious. I didn't move my grandma because I knew I could have slid her because it wasn't carpeted. I could have slid her inch by inch. But I didn't, and I don't think I was scared. It was just, I respected her, but I do believe I asked her, don't you want to look out the window, Grandma? And she said no. So in my mind, I'm like, that's weird, whatever. Geez, Grandma, why not? That's how I thought in my mind, rightfully so, but I kept that inside. And what washed over me was like, well, that's what she wants. Speeding up to right now, listening to my husband, talk about how sometimes, for example, myself, how what I thought in my head was like, dog, Grandma, why don't you want to look out the window? I mean, you're just sitting there. Shame on me to even think that. However, it's my thoughts. But even in my thoughts, I kind of want to not be so hasty and being so aggressive when I think like that too. I want to lead more in my second thought, which was, you know what? Grandma just doesn't want to look out the window. There's probably a reason why she doesn't. But I don't want to press her too much why she don't. Maybe I'll ask later. But her perspective on what she wants to look at and my perspective in that same moment was different. I would not have wanted to look out in the hallway. I would have wanted to stare out the window. But her window was looking out the hallway behind me over my shoulder because that's where her friends were and the nurses were, you know? That's where the action was for her. So, in the loophole of being in a nursing home, what we find that may be a gray area for us may be right all the light that they need to color their coloring book. What's up, y'all? My name is Elay, pronounced like LA like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. Get well soon, Jamie. Let's do this!